Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 554, the Darumaka Podcast. Darumaka is a fire-type Pokemon. It evolves into, I'm not telling you. Darumaka is a round red Pokemon with an orange face and yellow curly eyebrows. It has 3 yellow ovals on its abdomen and a curvy yellow line on its back. Its paws are orange and have 3 digits each. It has very warm... What? It has very warm droppings, which ancient people put in their clothes to keep themselves warm. It's not weird at all. When the flame inside its body burns, Darumaka is very active. It cannot calm down in this state and thus becomes uncontrollable. As the flame shrinks, it falls asleep. It can tuck its arms and legs when it rests. During that time, it slightly sways. While it is sleeping, it cannot be tipped over no matter how much it is pushed or pulled, like a tumbler doll, which it resembles in this state. It prefers to live in a desert environment. It's number 554. It's a fire-type Pokemon, and that's all you get. So how you guys doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me on such short notice. I'm sure I look even crazier than usual. And I'm sure you're wondering what the hell's going on, because I've been talking on the site a little bit about how busy things have been. And that is not a lie. They've been very busy. So please allow me to explain what's going on. You guys will be the first to hear. So if you're watching this stream, you'll know before everybody else. But if you're listening to the podcast, you're a little behind the times. But thanks to those that joined me. I appreciate it. So first off, hopefully there's no issues with the recording this week. I can see the regular podcast is working, but I don't know if the live stream is working. I'm trying to decide that right now. I see people can see video, but I don't know if they can see sound. Uh-oh. People saying they can't hear me. Well, that's not good. I don't know what's going on with this setup lately, and I'm afraid to do anything because the regular recording. Oh, Chris Rose says, all right, other people say they can see and hear. Sorry about the trouble, TAW. All right, so here's what's been going on. As you can see, if you're watching the podcast, I'm not in my normal podcast room. This is my office where I usually do the podcast when I'm doing it solo. Because today's Friday, so I'm doing it early, and people are busy as expected, so no big deal there. But what's going on with us? Well, good news is it's not anything bad. Mom Brain and I are moving to a new house. We are going to actually live in a house instead of a apartment/townhouse. We've been going through this process for over 4 months now. To tell you the truth, it's been hell. It's been absolutely terrible. I'm not talking about the physical moving aspect of it, although that's not fun. I'm talking about the paperwork and all that stuff. It's just been one hiccup after the other. Things out of our control, things not going in our favor, all that jazz. But thankfully, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and even more thankfully, we are purchasing Mom Brain's parents' house. They are moving off to Florida, and we are buying their house. So we can at least not have to worry about struggling with the people that own the house and having issues there with the purchase and all that stuff, which we thought would make it easier, but so far it just seems our luck with buying houses is always terrible. 7 years ago, we tried to buy 2 houses, and each one fell through because of really stupid, strange issues. And believe it or not, those same issues came up again this time. But because we know the sellers, we can work around that stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So that's why I've been so super busy. It's been a pain in the ass doing regular site work when we're emptying the entire house. You don't realize how much stuff you've accumulated until you start going through all of it, and it's insane. So right now my office is I got my desktop computer, but it's not hooked up. I moved everything else over to the other house, but I got the desktop, the desk that I'm working on, a couple TVs, and a lamp, and that's it. So we're really really down to the wire here, and that's why I can't do the podcast tomorrow, because we will be moving the final bits of the big stuff over to the new house. We've pretty much done everything, else. We got everything packed up and went back and forth and did all that. So now we got just the big things, like some TVs and some shelves and, desks and beds, which we'll hopefully be able to take care of tomorrow. So that's what's been going on. And like I said, I've been keeping up with the site as usual, been working as usual. Every time I finish a round, I go and pack stuff, which is not fun. But we're getting to the end of it. I don't even have my desk chair. I'm sitting on an exercise ball right now, which is funny because I obviously don't exercise. I would show you on the live stream, but I'm not even wearing pants. I'm just sitting here in my boxers because everything's packed. I don't know where anything is. So that's what's going on. Thank you to everybody that joined on the live stream last minute and hopped into the chat. Hello, TAW, Metasob, and Guy Bonds, and Carefree Captain, and whoever else, Chris Rowe, and Link Triforce, and whoever else I missed. Thank you for joining me. Physically, like the physical location, we're moving it's like 5 minutes away from where we are now. But like I said, it's a house. It's not an apartment. So, oh yes, there's going to be a much better gaming room. So our place right now, the main floor, so we have the garage, and then the main floor is the kitchen and the living room and the dining room, except there's no division between living room and dining room. It was just basically one big room. Then we had the dining room table which is where we usually do the podcast, and to the left of that is the living room. So it's been one big room pretty much where we've been living pretty much most of our lives in this 6+ or 7 years that we've been here. And then upstairs is my office and the bedroom and the bathroom, and that's it. So now we're going to a house that has, multiple rooms to do things in. And yes, I will have an office like I do here, but I'll also have a separate room for all my game stuff, which I'm very excited about. A room dedicated just to video games. Oh, and I'm gonna get it set up with a nice fancy wall of all kinds of game artwork, like all the stuff I've gotten over the years. And also I'm gonna set it up for future Parents Play episodes. So A, it will be easier to record, and B, it will be set up for video footage of my parents. So we will be moving away from just the game footage. We'll have actual footage of my parents as well, which I know is something you people have wanted for a long time. So that's all going to get set up. I don't know when it's going to happen. Obviously, it's going to take some time to set that stuff up. My gaming room over at the new house right now is just full of boxes of video games and other like video games and consoles and accessories and all that stuff. So I think later tonight I'm going to go over there and sort through some of that stuff and get it worked out. Maybe I'll give you guys a tour. And I don't know where we're going to do the podcast at the new house. Obviously, there's plenty of room to do it in. I just have to figure out where. So it'll be a fun adventure that we all go on. So yes, that's what's been going on. Thank you for the kind words. Also, something else that I've been dying to talk to you guys about, and have been doing so throughout the week. But podcast is the last to know, unfortunately. And I'm sure some of you know already. Believe it or not, I am a playable character in Mutant Mud's Super Challenge, the Renegade Kid game that's available on Wii U and 3DS. Jules Watcham over at Renegade Kid was insanely nice and surprised me one day by showing me that he had made a playable version of me and was going to include me in Mutant Mud Super Challenge. I literally woke up to a text message one day from Jules and went to read it, and it was a pixelized version of myself. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And he said, yep, you're going to be one of 20 hidden characters in the game. And I couldn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now, but I am honestly a hidden character in that game. It's not an April Fool's Day joke. I've seen some people out there with footage of me already. I've also seen, so what happened is we were keeping it a secret until this week because Jules is doing a contest where if you find hidden characters on certain levels, you win a poster. And I was set to be revealed this week, but the game obviously came out late last week. And someone on my Facebook posted a message, and they said, "Hey, look who I found in the game." So I made an announcement on my personal Facebook, but I was keeping it quiet as far as the site went because I didn't want to ruin things for Jules. So then somebody on Twitter found me and said something, and I just talked with them quietly. And then the Twitter thing came out. Jules did his thing, and then I got to do the official announcement on Twitter and on the site. So yeah, I'm hidden in level 3-4. In every level in Mutant Mud Super Challenge, there's a special door to enter that takes you to like another secret area. So every single level, once you're in it, has a door to another secret area. It's either Virtual Boy styled or Game Boy styled. And in those Virtual Boy or Game Boy doors, you will find one hidden character. They're very well hidden. I'm not going to tell you how to find them, but there's one in each of those levels, and that makes up the 20 hidden characters in the entire game. So you've seen footage of some of the other characters or screens of the other characters, like just today we were talking about Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is a playable character in Mutant Mud Super Challenge. We saw that Rusty from SteamWorld Dig is a secret character in there as well. And then there's other indie game stuff, and then characters from other games that Renegade Kid has put out, like Bomb Monkey and stuff like that. But yes, on level 3-4, if you hunt around, you can find me. And somebody in the chat, who Carefree Captain, says, "Did I unlock myself yet?" Yeah, I was lucky enough to get an early copy of the game, and I went through to try and find myself, and I did. Yeah, I found myself, and I played using my character, but like I said, I had to keep it a secret. I'm working on a special review for that game. Again, it's a little behind because of my office being out of whack, but there's going to be a special video feature review, and obviously I'm going to mention in that review that I'm in the game. Because I know some people will say, "Oh, he's in the game, he's not going to review it fairly." So, I'll put that out there. But yes, it's going to be start of a new feature for GoNintendo, and it will be video related. And I'm excited to get to work on that in my new office. So look forward to that. But yes, I did play as myself, and it is 100% real. And you can get it right now on Wii U and 3DS. And remember, it's available in Europe and North America right now. And then on top of that, if you buy the Wii U or 3DS version, you get the other version free. So you get a cross-buy free play. So you get it on Wii U, you get a free code for 3DS. Get it on 3DS, you get a free code for Wii U. You can do with that as you please. Give it to a friend, save it for yourself, whatever. But again, a huge thank you to Renegade Kid and Jules specifically for making that happen. It wasn't something I requested. It was just something he wanted to do, or they wanted to do, and that is infinitely cool. One of the coolest things I've been involved with through GoNintendo, definitely, and one of the most unbelievable at that. I've had mentions and credits of video games before, which still blows my mind. But that said, I have to admit that being a playable character is a step up. I don't know if it'll ever happen again, but I will forever cherish that it happened once. It's very surreal. It's also funny to see like friends and family play as my character. It's just weird to sit back and watch yourself being played in a video game. So for those of you that have not checked out the game, you should check it out. Watch a trailer, see if it's your kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a very tough game. It's very difficult. So if you're not into old school challenging platformers, it might not be the best thing for you to experience or purchase. But you can always look up some footage and see what the game looks like, or more specifically, what I look like if you're interested in that. I have to get some footage of myself up on the site. I haven't done that. Guy Bonds has it right. He says games only get a special video review if RMC is a playable character. That's how it works. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Wasn't there a game being worked on about Bacon Bits? There was a game being worked on about me, just like a little browser game that I think might exist out there somewhere. That was a while ago, so I don't know if a final version ever came out or not. But yeah, somewhere out there in the internet ether, something like that exists. I think that's it as far as site news and stuff like that goes, or personal and site news. I'm going to do news as usual. And there weren't too many top stories this week, so I don't know how long this is going to go. And obviously, it's just me, so there's no music trivia. We didn't do a Twitter question today because I'm pressed for time, but we'll work with what we got. And again, thank you to those of you who are joining me live. I appreciate it. I'm sorry you're watching when it's just me because it's always better when there's more people here. But at least I have you guys to interact with. So thank you. All right, let's get to some of the top stories from the week so far. Mr. Yuji Naka, who's the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, had an interview where he talked about the original plans for Mario and Sonic getting together. And it seems like they were a little bit different than what we ended up with, which is Mario and Sonic at the whatever Olympics, that whole series. Hello, Jaster. So Mr. Naka says, yes, it is true. Back in the day, I did go to Kyoto to visit Nintendo and wanted to have a meeting with Mr. Miyamoto and figure out, could we make a game with Mario and Sonic together? Although those original conversations happened about 3 years before the Olympics game came out, we weren't able to really make a game that featured Sonic and Mario back from that original conversation. But because we had those conversations, it kind of kicked off future conversations with Nintendo, which afterwards led to the Olympic game coming out. Now, that's really interesting to me. Back when Sega announced that they weren't doing hardware anymore, and then we found out that some Sega games, including Sonic titles, were coming to Nintendo platforms. Nintendo and Sega fans were like, oh my god, could we get Mario and Sonic in a game together? Would that actually happen? Are the two of them going to work together? That'd be amazing. And, ideas started to fly around on what that game could be, what it would be like. And then Mario and Sonic at the whatever Olympics was announced, and we were all like, oh, well, it's cool to see them together in a game, but not exactly the type of game we were hoping for. But now we hear from Mr. Naka that there were discussions, I would imagine, of something more in the realm of what we would expect from a crossover game between the two, something platformer-wise. Obviously, he doesn't say that, but they were trying to hash out something about the two being together in a game, and then 3 years later, the Olympics title came out, which was unrelated, so you have to wonder what ideas were tossed around or if anything was actually prototyped or tried out. It would be awesome to see them actually do something like that, a more traditional Mario game or a more traditional Sonic game where, the other character joins in with them. Maybe that's something that will happen down the road. Obviously, the Olympics franchise has been successful for them because there's been how many entries now, and it's still going. So, it wasn't a poor decision to make those games, and I don't want to knock those games and say it's easier to make those games than a traditional platformer or something like that. But you would have to imagine that it would be easier to, you have a list of sports and all these characters are going to be in it, and then you just work on that, and then that's the game, rather than a platformer that would involve Mario and Sonic, and you're like, uh-oh. Which mechanics are going to go in here? What are the levels going to look like? Are we going to have a completely new type of gameplay, or is this going to be one guy coming into the other's world? Blah, blah. So yeah, obviously Nintendo and Sega fans would like to see that happen at some point. And it was something along those lines was discussed, but never came to be. Maybe in the future. Mr. Naka also goes on to say that Miyamoto wanted Sonic to be in Smash Bros. Melee. He says, the original Sonic becoming a part of the Smash Bros. Game was also part of that conversation. During the GameCube development for Smash Bros., he really wanted to get Sonic into that game, but it was just too late in development process and couldn't get it in for GameCube. But they did move forward and put Sonic in for the Wii version. Could you imagine that? If Sonic was in Smash Bros. Melee? Man, what a different world we would be in. Fans were clamoring for Sonic to be in Smash Bros. And it eventually did happen. And now, he's it seems like he's part of the franchise. But for him to be included in Melee, that would be such a huge deal back then because, the decision for Sega to move away from hardware was much fresher in everybody's minds. And the idea of Sega working together with Nintendo was definitely a more novel idea back then. And for Nintendo to come out with that announcement, that would be crazy. You have to wonder if Melee was pushed back a little bit because these discussions were going on, because I remember Melee being delayed. And maybe, Naka and Miyamoto were trying to hash this out. Miyamoto was just like, listen, we can't do it. It's too late in development. We can't make it happen. Sakurai already wants to blow his brains out from all the work he's got to do. We can't add in a brand new character. Well, we'll get you next time. So, we eventually got our Sonic and Smash Brothers, which I guess is the important part. But I always find it interesting to see the things that could have been. And look at how many years later it is that we're finding out about this stuff. We're talking about discussions that happened during the GameCube days, and we're past the GameCube, past the Wii, and pretty much past the Wii U. It's been a long time. Booge Stroyer has the top-rated comment. He says, "Yeah, I'll still never understand why the heck everyone wants Daisy around that much, and what everyone sees in her that we don't." This is because of podcast member PC, who is a huge Daisy lover. They obviously went in and hijacked the comments and got this comment top voted to annoy her, but she's not here today. But I know she will be listening. He goes on to say, her homeland hasn't amounted to a damn thing in decades. The Year of Luigi did nothing about her, and her face even looks weird, and would even scare the living daylights out of Chucky. So I see what you guys are going to do now. You're just going to torment PC, and I approve. Oh yeah, I should have said this earlier. So what do we do for for My Parents Play this week? We did Mutant Mud's Super Challenge. My parents did not play as me in the video because they were not allowed to discuss that topic yet, but they did give the game a go. And man, it's one of my favorite episodes. It's hysterical. My dad is so weird. He's so weird. But the whole episode, definitely one of my favorites. And I'm not, again, now Guy Bonds is going to get at me again because I'm saying everything Mutant Mud's related is great. But it just so worked out that this episode with Mutant Mud Super Challenge was a really, really funny one. I know asking people to watch 40 minutes of something is a lot to ask, but if you do have that time, or if you have, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, check it out. Watch a little bit and see what you think, because I honestly think it's one of the funniest episodes, if not the funniest episode. And also, I want to talk about the latest Egg Busters episode from our friend Austin. He worked on an episode that featured Yoshi's Woolly World. So he does a couple of glitches in that game, and you can check that out on the site, or you can check that out on his YouTube channel, which is That One Show Fun over at YouTube. And of course, go subscribe and like his videos, and tell everybody in the world that his videos are great, and post them on your Facebook and tweet about him, because he deserves so much more attention than he gets. The amount of work that he puts in is ridiculous. The content that he puts out is so unique and so engaging and so funny and interesting, and he's got a voice like none other that I've seen on YouTube. And obviously I haven't been all around YouTube, but I like to think I've seen a good amount of the content out there on YouTube, and I don't know of anyone else that does something quite like him, and definitely doesn't do it in the way that he does it. So check out that episode. There's a new episode coming out tomorrow of Egg Busters, I believe. I've seen it already. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you what it's about, but I love it. It's another, nothing gets my weekend going like a new episode of Egg Busters. So we'll obviously share that at GoNintendo as well. So until then, if you haven't seen the Yoshi's Woolly World episode, go check that out. And then this weekend, you'll have another new episode to see. And you guys have been very nice to him in comments and stuff like that. And I've seen... wow, look at that. That's crazy. Seen a lot of you guys and girls talking about him and to him, saying kind things, which him and I are very big on, trying to make the internet, a nicer place, a more kind place, because people are such assholes all the time. And I'm just noticing now that over 25,000 of you saw the post for the latest Egg Busters. So hopefully some of you guys checked out that episode and enjoyed it. Like I said, he checks out glitches, and he does it with a bit of unique humor. So if you like game glitches and you like funny things, check it out. All right, Europe. What did Europe get for their digital releases this week? They got Hyrule Warriors Legends, the 3DS game, which plays much better on new 3DS than it does on 3DS. Bacon Bits says, RMC, do you have an Eggbusters t-shirt? I do. When he was selling Eggbusters t-shirts, I don't know, I want to say a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago. I bought one. Yeah, I definitely bought one. I'm a big supporter of the show. Hyrule Warriors Legends is available, and there's also the Hyrule pack. The packs that include the Master Wind Waker pack, the Link's Awakening pack, the Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks pack, a Link Between Worlds pack. Then you get the bonus Ganondorf Wind Waker robe costume, all that jazz. Nintendo presents New Style Boutique 2 Fashion Forward has a spring-summer style pack, and that's available for free. So if you're the lucky people in Europe that are playing that game, because we don't have it here, you can grab yourself some free content. And a whole bunch of sales and stuff. New 3DS Virtual Console got Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest. Remember, that is new 3DS or new 3DS XL only. You will not be able to play those Virtual Console games on your old 3DS or any version of the 2DS or the 3DS XL. So two great rare games to play on your new 3DS Virtual Console. Wii U eShop got Star Fox 64 on the Virtual Console, so you could prepare yourself for the impending Star Fox Zero. Man, I'll never forget. I have vivid memories of going into Electronics Boutique and buying Star Fox Zero with the Rumble Pack. And I remember sitting on the bench at the mall, reading the instruction booklet and looking at the Rumble Pack. And when I remember getting home and playing the game, and I plugged the Rumble Pack into the controller. I was like, ooh, it's kind of heavy now, but first impressions. Obviously, that stuff fades away. But playing Star Fox 64 with the Rumble Pack was such a mind-blowing experience. And now, obviously, Rumble is a regular feature in game controllers, and if it's not there, it feels weird. But that wasn't always the case. Nintendo definitely took the lead on that and got Rumble into controllers through an accessory at first, but then controllers had that stuff built in. That experience of playing that game with the Rumble Pack, very clear, vivid memory. Lots of fun. I played the hell out of that game. And it was also great to give people the controller to have them play the game and not tell them what the hell the thing was on the N64 controller. Or, some people that played N64 would be like, what is this thing? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Or people that didn't play games wouldn't even ask. So they take it, and then the thing starts rumbling in there. I had friends that dropped a controller. People that got freaked out right away and thought they were having a seizure or something. It was a very different thing back then. Infinity Runner is available on the Wii U eShop. The Infinity is the largest spaceship ever built by mankind, flung into the void of space to secure humanity a new home amongst the stars. However, instead of discovering paradise, the inhabitants of the Infinity unlock the door to a long-forgotten nightmare. Deep inside this Leviathan, something terrible hunts. Out of myth and legend, the last werewolf stalks the ship. Infinity Runner centers on a prisoner desperately trying to escape the decaying ship and the clutches of the terror within. In Infinity Runner, the player controls the protagonist, the prisoner, from a first-person perspective as he is challenged to escape from the gargantuan spaceship. Infinity Runner packs a lot into one super slick sci-fi action game bundle, and with it reinvents the running genre. I don't know, what the hell else would you put in the running genre? Mirror's Edge? Temple Run? Sonic Dash, whatever the hell it's called. It looks intriguing. I've seen some footage of it, but not enough to make a final decision on whether I want to purchase or not, but I like the idea. Now, one game that I can definitely recommend is Shantae Risky's Revenge. The director's cut of that game is available on the Wii U in Europe. If you haven't played any Shantae games, I don't know what the hell you're doing with your time. You should at least play one of them. It's not like there's too many of them for you to go through. There's Shantae on the Game Boy Color. There's Shantae Risky's Revenge, which originally came out on DSiWare, but has now jumped to multiple platforms, including the Wii U. Then there's Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which was the latest one on the 3DS eShop and Wii U. And Shantae Half Genie Hero is on its way out to the Wii U. That's the Kickstarter game. So if you haven't played a Shantae game, you can check out Risky's Revenge on your Wii U. I highly recommend it. You know what? This sounds like such an asshole thing to say, but I don't mean it like this. I think I'm mentioned in the credits of that game. I was definitely thanked in the credits of the DSiWare release. I don't know if I'm still in this one, but that was another surprise. I had no idea they were going to say anything about me at all. It was very cool to see that. So I was listening to the soundtrack to this game earlier today, and I was like, I got to replay that. And now that it's out on Wii U, I got the perfect excuse. So I should do that. And you should too. And then there's special offers on some other jazz. So kind of a big week. There's some good stuff in there. Some big names, some old classics you might want to check out. Speaking about old classics, Capcom put out a survey pertaining to Mega Man. You know, that character that they used to love and make games for, but now they just poop them into crappy spin-offs and mobile titles. Not that mobile games are bad, but the games he's been in for mobile haven't been so hot. This survey asks a number of questions. There was a link included with the Mega Man Legacy Collection. That's how you got this survey. But one of the questions is very important and interesting to Mega Man fans because it says, would you like to play a new entry in the classic series like Mega Man 11? Capcom, yes. Yes, I would. I'd very much like a Mega Man 11. Or, I don't even care if they do a Mega Man 11 and it's in the visual style of 7 or 8. Because that's fun. I'm an old school type of gamer. Well, I play all games. It doesn't matter. But when it comes to visuals, if I could have my choice, I like old school stuff. So I'd love for 11 to be in the same style as 9 and 10 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if they did it in 7, 8, that'd be fine too. It could be another X, a Mega Man X. What number is it up to now? I don't even know. 8? 9? I don't know. What X are we on? But another X would be great. So just the idea that they're asking about... Oh, sorry. Just the idea that they're asking... Oh, boy. It's my mom texting me. I apologize. Just the idea that they're asking about it gets me excited because I want to see... I want another Mega Man game. They used to come out so often. And Mega Man's another one of those games where there are some other titles out there that I don't want to say try and replicate, but, pay homage to what Mega Man is and how those games play. But there's nothing quite like it that fits the bill. Like, I can play something that's like Mega Man, and I'm like, yeah, that's fun, but it just makes me want to play a new Mega Man. Same with Castlevania. Like, I'll play Castlevania games or Castlevania games that are in the style of Metroidvania. And there's plenty of Metroidvania games out there that are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But I never play one, and I'm like, yeah, now I don't want to play Castlevania anymore. Whenever I play one, no matter how amazing it is, it still leaves me feeling like I want to play an actual Castlevania game. So maybe Capcom will give us another Mega Man game, traditional Mega Man game, and I'm sure if they do, Inti Creates would be involved in that. I just, from our understanding, Mega Man 9 sold pretty well, which is why Mega Man 10 existed. I don't know how well Mega Man 10 sold, but, it's been a while since that came out. We haven't seen 11, and we haven't really seen anything for Mega Man. We've seen canceled projects for Mega Man, so that's cool. So I don't know. Let's hope something happens there because I'm getting tired of compilations. I love Mega Man games, but for someone that's been around since Mega Man, but for someone that's been around since Mega Man started, I've played them a lot. It is good that they release. I understand the collections aren't necessarily for me. It is good that they release the collections because then it gives new players a chance, or younger players, I should say, a chance to check out what Mega Man is all about. But, when it comes to that stuff, I have a hard time figuring out who it's for. Is it for me, the person who's played Mega Man games a million times over and wants to have all of them in one collection, or just collects Mega Man games in general? Or is it for someone that's never played Mega Man and wants to get into it? Because if it is for someone that's never played Mega Man and, you know, started gaming on whatever it may be, the GameCube, the Wii, PS2, Xbox, maybe even 360, PS3. If they started there, do they want to go and, like, when they see a collection that has really retro style graphics like that, are they automatically turned off? Like, is that something they don't want to check out? Is that something they have no interest in playing because it looks so rudimentary compared to what they're used to? I mean, you know, it's kind of like people that don't watch black and white movies because they're like, well, we don't need black and white movies anymore. We can have color. Like, it's that kind of thing. People are like, well, I think it's stupid that it looks like that because we have hardware that can do more powerful things now. Train going by, sorry. You know, and it's sad to see that kind of opinion because I'm open to any type of visuals. I happen to like retro style visuals, but you know, the games of today blow me away. Like the stuff I've been watching for Uncharted 4, it looks absolutely amazing. But I always tend to, hello, Roth N9. I always tend to gravitate towards games that have a stronger art style because I feel that makes them, or that helps them to last longer and age better. Like, you know, for example, this is the perfect time to talk about it. Look at Wind Waker versus Twilight Princess. Wind Waker, because of its unique visual style, caused a huge backlash when it originally came out, but as time went on, people came around to the game. And that visual style still holds up today, and especially when you look at the HD version. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then when you look at Twilight Princess HD, which was a more traditionally styled, realistic-looking Zelda game for the time, you see it today, and you're like, the visuals aren't bad, but I don't think anyone would. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't personally find them as impressive, and you know, they look dated. They look dated. Like if you look at a game like Wind Waker, I don't think you could say it looks dated because it has such a unique art style. But if you look at Twilight Princess, you could say that looks dated. Same thing with like Okami. If you looked at Okami, you'd be like, oh, this is really unique looking. You wouldn't say, oh, this looks old. The only thing that would clue you into it being old is like, you know, the definition at which it was displayed, like 480p or whatever. But that's just my 2 cents. You know, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but it's probably a discussion that that Capcom has had a lot of times now. They're like, well, if we do Mega Man 11, what's it going to look like? Should we really upgrade the visuals? Should we go with the 8-bit style again? Should we, you know what they should do? They should do something like Super Mario Maker style. Make a game that has the core mechanics of, you know, Mega Man 1 through 6 or 9 and 10, or it doesn't matter. Mega Man 1 through 10. Retain those core mechanics, maybe add in some new bells and whistles, but have visual styles that you can switch on the fly. So have it look like Mega Man or have it look like Mega Man X, and then give something, you know, completely different, all fully hand-drawn or something like that, you know. I think that'd be a good way to please gamers of all types nowadays, because you would hope that at least people that are into today's graphics could appreciate something hand-drawn or something along those lines. Just my 2 cents. I don't know, Capcom. Wow me. Do something. I just want Mega Man. I just want Mega Man to come back. That's all. Like a regular Mega Man game. First comment comes from Low Camp, and he says, I hate to be negative about the series, but by judging the status of the franchise in current times, this may end up only in one of the following ways. The launch of older games, newcomer re-release collections, or pulling out the bait a la Capcom, a la Konami. Hey, folks, feel free to compile a poll about some of the franchises whose rights we currently own, and then a few months later, we are stopping the production of AAA budget video games, save for Pro Evolution Soccer, because Italians are such a bunch of sheeple and stuff. Well, that turned dark a little bit. I kind of get what he's saying, though, but not how he said it. We'll see what happens. Let's hope that Mega Man Legacy Collection sold well on all of its platforms. I'm hoping the Gold Amiibo bundle for the 3DS is going to give it the little extra boost, just enough for Capcom to be like, oh, people still like Mega Man. Or, you know, just give Mega Man to Nintendo and let them work on it. So Nintendo has had some good success. Oh, boy. I'm going to mute my phone I should have done it a while ago. I apologize. Nintendo is doing quite well with Miitomo. We've talked about the milestones that the game has hit, and investors are happy because they like when because Nintendo's investors don't understand what's going on. They just are like, Nintendo needs to do mobile. So Miitomo came out and they're like, Nintendo's doing mobile. We love it. So the game already surpassed 1 million downloads. All that. Stock went up by 8.2%, which is Nintendo's biggest stock increase all since February 15th. So a noticeable bump. So investors are happy. Now they're going to start asking, when's your next mobile game? Or when is it coming out in Europe and North America? Because it looks like we might not get the March release we were originally told we would get. Zippo says, I'm glad the whiny investors that have begged them for the last 5 years to do this are finally satisfied. See, me and Zippo are thinking the same way. So there's a bit of talk this week about the Wii U possibly ending its production run in 2016. So this comes from Nikkei, and Nikkei has a history of annoying Nintendo when it comes to new platforms. Nikkei usually gets inside information. They publish an article and Nintendo says that's not true, or we don't know where they got that from, blah, blah, blah. And then it usually ends up being true. So Nikkei had their sources, and their sources told them that the Wii U is ending its production run in 2016. And Nintendo has already stopped manufacturing certain Wii U accessories. But they say they also want to point out that just because they hear the Wii U is ending production in 2016 doesn't mean that the NX is coming out in 2016. They're just saying that Nintendo's gearing down. Then, Nintendo executives read the feature and saw fit to comment on it. And Nintendo said, they didn't hear that from us. So it's like Nintendo saying, it's weird. It's like Nintendo saying, we didn't tell them that. So you should think it's not true, but they didn't say it's not true. They're just like, they didn't get their info from us. So what does that mean? They got their info from someone else who was correct? Like, if it's not true, then say it's not true. So now people are trying to decide if it's Nintendo, trying to calm people down and continue whatever Wii U sales they can get rather than have them die out completely. But it's not, overall, it's not a crazy thing to think that Wii U sales or Wii U production is coming to an end, because we know NX is going to come out probably late 2016, early 2017, somewhere there. We know they've been working big on it. We know that they're going to talk about it more this year for sure. So to think that that's going to be ramped up and production on Wii U is going to be phased out, it's not a crazy thing to think. And then on top of that, you have to imagine that Nintendo has a sizable amount of Wii U stock that they can send around the world wherever it's needed. They might need to produce with this. It's sad to talk about, but as poorly as the Wii U has sold, you couldn't imagine that Nintendo would be in a position where they sell out of their stock completely and are left hurting for sales during holiday season or something like that. You would think that they have like enough left over for any of that. But I'm not Nintendo, and I'm just an armchair analyst, so I don't know. But Nintendo says they didn't hear that information from us, so do with that as you please. Ridley Saria says they have the top-rated comment, and they say, this one is best left behind us. Bring on the NX, Nintendo. Impress me if you can. I'm ready to see it. I'm going to get the regular fanboy comments, which is what I've dealt with my entire career, so it doesn't matter. Hopefully those of you who have read the site over the years and read my thoughts would know that I don't give Nintendo a free pass on anything, and I am always 100% honest and genuine with my feelings. That said, I like the Wii U. It's not my favorite system that Nintendo's put out, definitely not, but I like the Wii U. I have fun with it. I always have fun with it when people are around. I have fun on my own. I think I'm at a good point in my life where I don't have as much free time as I used to. So I'm not one where, I'm not hungry for new games like I used to be. Back in the GameCube days, I can remember there being the real droughts on the GameCube, and I was like, God damn it, where is the new stuff? It's been months. There's nothing to play. But nowadays, with stupid adult crap getting in the way. You don't have as much free time. And then on top of that, there's other platforms too. And I feel completely the opposite now. With every system, I'm like swamped with stuff I want to play. There's stuff in the Wii U eShop, like lots of it, that I want to play that I haven't had the chance to. And there's still retail stuff that I want to play too, just on the Wii. That's just on the Wii U alone, and then factor in PS4 and Xbox One, and stuff I play on the phone and all that, you know. So I can understand consumers being upset that there's not a lot out there to play, because I do recognize that the software library on the Wii U is rather small compared to what Nintendo's done on other systems. But hopefully, those of you that do have a Wii U have gotten a good amount of enjoyment out of it. It may not be the most successful platform, may not be the most software supported system, but I definitely think there's a wide range of excellent content on the system. So hopefully you enjoy it, but I think we can all agree that we'd love to see the NX just do more of everything in every direction. More support from other developers, more sales would be fantastic, because that means more games, and Nintendo can do more with it. So obviously the Wii U did not go the way that they wanted it to. And hopefully they are going out of their way to correct things with the NX. We actually talked a lot about the NX this week, but due to rumors, and like I've been saying on the last few podcasts, there have been a ton of rumors lately, and a good 90% of them, I feel like 85 to 90%, have been spot on. This one was not, but at least it was a fun ride while it was going on. So last week we had the rumored NX controller that popped up, the one that looked like basically a football with 2 joysticks on it, or Stewie Griffin's head, depending on what parts of the internet you were on, or Hey Arnold's head also. So, you know, the images were out there of a white one, and then we saw a black one that came out that looked exactly the same as the white one, just a different color. And it has, like, you know, a giant surface screen, and it's shaped in it's like an eye shape, like that style, and it has a joystick on the left and a joystick on the right, and a headphone jack, and then some shoulder like scroll wheels, and that would be it. So the first picture that came out was a little questionable, but nothing that anyone could 100% fully debunk. And then the second set of pictures came out this week, and they looked really good. Like they were pictures that weren't taken on a crappy cell phone camera. Clear, you could see what was going on, and people are like, "Uh-oh, I don't know." Now I'm wondering if this is real or not. So PC just messaged me and said that she's watching, so she missed you guys tormenting her about Daisy. So maybe it'll be another Daisy comment where she can get upset. But anyway, so back and forth all week long, real or fake, real or fake, real or fake. And unfortunately, this fell on the side of fake, even though most things have been turning up real lately. This was fake. The guy that made it came out and showed a video of how he made it in Photoshop, or, you know, whatever image software that he used. And that was for the white controller that was leaked last week. And then the guy that made the black controller also confirmed that his is a fake. And his, well, as far as fakes go, it was real sophisticated, like way above what we've seen in the past. He actually went through the process of making a 3D printed model. That's what we see in the picture. So he actually 3D printed a fake NX controller, which just goes to show you how crazy some Nintendo fans are. So yeah, you can watch his video and see the entire process of how he went through the design and then printed out the pieces and put it together and all that. You know, as annoying as it is to have rumors out there and see this stuff turn out fake, and, you know, the debates rage on all week, it's still impressive to see the amount of time and dedication that people put into these projects for whatever reason. You know, to be an asshole and just troll people on the internet, or, you know, just to have fun with discussion while we're waiting for Nintendo to tell us something. I don't know. But I highly recommend you check out this guy's video for making the 3D printed one, because it's really interesting, and he did a really awesome job with it. But yeah, the discussion was fun during the week. We had some sources that are in the know saying that it's not the real deal, and then we had other sources that other outlets like Game Informer, one of the editors at Game Informer said from what he saw of the controller, it lined up with what he had been hearing from other people in the industry that are in the know. So, you know, I'm sure we're somewhere in between real. Well, obviously this thing was fake, but I'm sure it's going to end up getting some aspects of the NX controller real, because we've seen the patents. So we know, at least one idea of a controller that Nintendo was looking to do. Whether this NX controller ends up being like that or not, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how the fan idea of what it could be ends up with what the real one is. Could be completely different, could be very similar. But yeah, we'll see. Like I say a million times on the podcast, just because Nintendo patents something, it doesn't mean they're actually going to make it. So this controller that they made was an exact replica of what Nintendo had done in a patent. And a lot of people said that's why it's fake right off the bat. And those people, I guess, were correct. Sergio Monti has the first comment. He also has the top-rated comment. And he says, here, Go Nintendo, I made a leak. Can I have my own article now? He made, what the hell is it? He took a picture to mimic the picture of the fake NX controller. And it's, what is he plugged in here to? He's got his, if you go to the article, you can see it. He's got like his headphones plugged into what is, it looks like just a black square box. And he's got, it looks like buttons that he made out of like Play-Doh or something and just put it on top of the box. And he wrote out a little card and put it on top of it and says secret controller written in like crayon. You know what? That's going to be the picture for this week's podcast. That's really good. Sergio Monti, my hat goes off to you. If I was wearing my captain's hat, it would go off to you. But yes, you're going to be the picture for the week. That's too funny not to post. Top story, I'm a Mutant Muds. You know that, right? All right, North America. What did North America get? We got Hyrule Warriors Legends, the 3DS game. Now, remember, like I said, that plays better on new 3DS than it does on regular 3DS. So if you only have regular 3DS, you can play it, but it doesn't run nearly as well. So you've been warned. Wii U eShop. We also got Shantae Risky's Revenge Director's Cut. On new 3DS or new 3DS XL Virtual Console, we got Donkey Kong Country. We didn't get Donkey Kong Country 2, but we did get Super Mario Kart and Earthbound. So those three games were dated out already, so we knew they were coming. But now you can get those Super Nintendo classics on your new 3DS or new 3DS XL. On the Wii U Virtual Console, we got Yoshi's Story, the N64 game, and that's another game that I have vivid memories of picking up. And I remember putting it in the N64 and playing through it, and it was over in like, what? I guess a half hour, I'll say, because that has a very like linear structure, like a storybook. So if you're just going level wise, like beginning to end, you do what, 5 levels and you're at the end or something like that. But there's a whole book of levels to go through. So after I got all over my initial anger of spending whatever it was, $60, I don't know, on the game at the time, and thinking I got really ripped off, I realized, you know, you can go through the other levels and get that much more content. It's kind of like Star Fox, actually. Although Star Fox's like first playthrough is longer than Yoshi's Island or Yoshi's Story is. But yeah, Star Fox and Yoshi's Story, they both have, you know, a path through levels, but that's not all the levels. You can go through and experience a whole bunch of other levels and paths too. So a lot of people knocked that game, but I think they might have had the feeling that I had when I first played it, and maybe that's all that they did. They played it, they did their 4 or 5 levels, however many it was, finished the game, and are like, well, I'm done. That sucks. So give it a shot or check out footage. It's not as shallow as you think it is. Did I kill any Yoshi, says Video Game Guru. You know, those aren't things I like to talk about. There were dark times. Let's just say that. There were dark times. eShop sales on some games, including Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D and Resident Evil Revelations, because we're going through, what, the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil right now. So those games are on sale and will be on sale until March 29th. And other games in there on sale too. New DLC for Fire Emblem Fates. You have the Hidden Truths 1 and the Hidden Truths 2 maps. Those are available. They are the secret prologue to the world of Fire Emblem Fates games. 2 maps set for $4.50. Yeah, I should remind you guys today. What are the retailers? I think it's Best Buy, GameStop, and Amazon. I think that's right. Don't quote me. Go to the site. But I believe it's those 3. If you go to them and you buy an amiibo, any amiibo, you will get a code to download Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge, which is available early for those that buy an amiibo. So if you buy an amiibo starting, oh dear God, it's the podcast stopped again, of course. That sucks. Well, not for you guys, the live streamers, you're fine. The regular podcast recording just stopped again. I don't know why it's doing it. Well, that's great. Well, at least I have the audio version. Goodbye. If you go starting today and you have all the way until April 27th, you buy an amiibo and you'll get a code to download Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. Remember, that's available on 3DS and Wii U. But if you don't do that, you have to wait until later to get the game. You can't go on the eShop and get it now without a code. It's not available to purchase or anything like that. You have to get an amiibo. So your amiibo that you already have don't count. Obviously, you use them in the game, but if you want the code, you have to buy a new one. We're also going through National Street Pass weekend, which is March 25th to March 27th. You can collect up to 6 Street Pass tags from across North America when you stop by a Nintendo Zone location. And people come by and visit. Yeah, T27 Duck, that is the noise of you plugged in a new device. And obviously, I didn't plug in a new device because I was recording on that device for almost an hour now. But I think it's, like I said, I think it's my hub. I have the new hub, but I've been so busy I didn't have a chance to plug it in today. And I tested everything before I went, and everything was fine. Obviously, now it's not fine. Also new this week, Infinity Runner, Japanese Rail Sim 3D Journey in Suburbs, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. Those are all available. And Witchin' Hero 2 is also available. So another jam-packed week for digital releases. Like I said, in both Europe. Yeah, I know. Yeah. This one's lasted like a year and a half. I have a new, better one. We're talking about USB hubs, I'm sorry. I have a new, better one that we're going to give a shot. We'll see what happens. Game Freak 613 says, looking forward to when Miitomo is on this list. Well, hopefully soon. Supposed to be soon, but it looks like we might not get it in March. That's just rumored because the official website for Miitomo has removed the mention of a March release in Europe and North America. It doesn't say that it's not happening, just remove that mention. So I don't know. We got new details on Pokemon Go, which is coming to mobile. So that'll be on iPhone or Android. It's the game with AR, and you go around and you catch real-life Pokemon. So what are the new details? Explore cities and towns around you where you live and even around the globe to capture as many Pokemon as you can. As you move around, your smartphone will vibrate to let you know you're near a Pokemon. Once you've encountered a Pokemon, take aim on your smartphone's touchscreen and throw a Pokeball to catch it. Be careful when you try to catch it or it might run away. Also, look for Pokestops located at interesting places such as public art installations, historical markers, and monuments where you can collect Pokeballs and other items. You'll gain levels as a trainer, and at higher levels, you will be able to catch more powerful Pokemon to complete your Pokedex. You also have access to more powerful items such as Great Balls to give you a better shot at catching Pokemon. If you catch the same species of Pokemon enough times, you'll get the opportunity to evolve one of them. And as you explore, you may find Pokemon eggs at Pokestops, which will hatch after you've walked a certain distance. When they hatch, you may find Pokemon you've never seen before. So, hello, Andrew Eisen. Good to see you. There's another guy you should go check out his videos on YouTube. Go look at Andrew Eisen's content. He's always well thought out and great content and funny. And like I've said before, one of the best voices on YouTube I've ever heard. He should be a voice actor. There's also gyms. You can find empty gym locations or a location where a team member has placed one of his or her Pokemon. Gyms can be found at real-world locations. Each player can place only one Pokemon in a particular gym, so you're encouraged to work with others on the team to build up a strong defense. If a gym is already claimed by another team, you can challenge that gym using your own Pokemon. Using the Pokemon you've caught, engage in battle with the defending Pokemon at the gym to claim control. So you could be a gym leader, basically. You go around and be a real asshole and take over everybody's gyms. So, then there's some other stuff that we've also that we've already heard about, but a good amount of new details on the game that coincides with some leaked footage that came out of GDC last week. So no release date yet, other than 2016. We know it's coming. Game Freak 613 is the top comment again. You're very welcome, Andrew. And Game Freak 613 says, "Neato, can't wait to try it myself eventually." And that is your top stories. That's all I got to talk about. Well, that was about an hour, so that's pretty good. And this week, what did I play? Nothing. Saddest part of moving, all my stuff is packed up, from 3DS to all the consoles. They're all packed up and they're over at the other house, and they're in a room that is full of stuff that I need to sort through before I can play. And it's been driving me nuts because there is stuff I really want to play. Like I said last week, I was playing The Division, and I was really, really into it. And I'm really still into it now, but I haven't gotten to play it. And Nikki Hill picked it up, so we're going to be playing together, and I'm sure we'll have some amazing stories to tell on the podcast. But my stuff is packed up. I got to get, like, a TV over there and unpack stuff and hook it up. It's such a pain in the ass to unhook all that stuff to begin with, because I have the receiver, the cable box, the subwoofer, the TV, the PS4, the Xbox One, the Wii U, the Retron 5, the Amazon Fire TV. There's like 10 things hooked up to that TV. I had to go through and undo all of them, and now I'm like, undoing it is the worst part. Setting it up, at least I'll be able to go in and like make it neater and not have the nest of wires that I had before. Well, that's the goal, but we'll see what happens. Yes, Red Dragon, I am moving. Or Mom Brain and I are moving. We're moving to somewhere 5 minutes away from here, so don't worry. We're not going anywhere crazy. Nothing's ending. Everything's going on as usual. It's just the fun of trying to move while also doing your regular work, which is, I highly recommend it to everybody. It's so great, so relaxing, not stress-inducing at all. All right. I think that's all I got for you. This is, without a doubt, the last podcast we are doing in this place. This is it. You will never see this place again, unless one of our friends happens to rent it, and for some reason we come over here and do a podcast. This is it. The final podcast in this place. We've been doing podcasts here for over 6 years, maybe 7 years. We've had some good times. We've had some not so good times, like the times when, the podcast stopped recording, like the last 2 shows. And I had to rip the audio from YouTube. But yeah, it's been crazy. Can't believe I've been here first. I run GoNintendo out of my parents' house for over 4 years. I've run GoNintendo here for over 6 years. Filmed lots of videos for the site here. Obviously filmed a podcast every single week we were here. So a lot of memories tied up in here. But hopefully at this new place, I will give you a setup that's more pleasing to the eyes. Have an actual dedicated room or a dedicated section of a room. Not like this is happening in the living room at this time. It'll be like this is where the podcast happens because it's the podcast room. That'd be great, wouldn't it? I'm really going to try and do that stuff. This new setup is going to allow me to do all kinds of fun video stuff. It's just a matter of getting it all set up and worked out. Now I have to worry about the goddamn USB hub and all that stuff, or maybe worry about my laptop in general. Hopefully it's not the laptop. Hopefully it's just the hub. But yeah, this is it. Let's try and do this and not get myself in a shot because, as I said, I'm just sitting in boxers. This is it. This is what's left of my office. A lamp, a couple TVs, Mario blanket to protect the TVs. I used to, there used to be all kinds of artwork and everything all over here. Now this is it. It's over. So thank you for joining me and GoNintendo in this joint for a good 6 years now. Thanks for following the podcast here as well. And next week, you will be getting a podcast in a brand new place. You absolutely have to, because the internet gets turned off here tomorrow. So whether it's our new house or somewhere different, it's definitely not going to be here. And that's it. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, I should play some sad music. Thank you for being a friend, as the Golden Girls say. And I will see you next week in a new place and hopefully more rested and relaxed. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Easter if you celebrate. And if you don't, have a wonderful Sunday. And I will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.